Kids, today is the day. We're gonna start tilling the garden and getting the soil prepped up. I'm gonna do the potato patch for sure, and then we are also gonna start putting onions in the ground here pretty soon as well. So I'm gonna till both of the gardens up and get them ready for planting, because it's almost time, which is kind of crazy. All right. By the way, this is just a side note. If you are paying attention and are seeing what's going on in the world today, my recommendation is to, if at all possible, plant a garden. If at all possible, make yourself able to be not dependent upon the system as much as possible. Maybe get together with a few people and do a community garden where you guys all work together on a garden as a group. Share the proceeds. If you don't have a community that you're working together with, you need to get one. You need to stop this video. I've said this a number of times. Stop this video, get a community. But yeah, you guys, this is very, very important. With what just happened yesterday with the bridge going out, that is one of the busiest ports in the country for sure. I think it's the busiest in the East Coast. Guys, it's gonna get worse, and food's gonna be hard to get, and having the ability to feed yourself and your family, your community, is very, very important. So don't spend money on going on vacation. I know that sounds crazy, but don't spend money on you know, sports camp or whatever. And I know it's gonna make some of you upset, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But you got to feed yourself. If you can't feed yourself, you're gonna die. If you can't find water, you're gonna die. So stay fit and make a garden. Feed yourself, feed your family. Do that. All right. So without any further ado, we're gonna hop into the tilling. And my chickens are out. They got out, which is super annoying. Anyway, here, I'll show you. Stupid birds. And they're gonna have to move because I'm gonna be tilling that in just a minute. All right, here we go. Smash the like button, share the videos, subscribe, and we're gonna send some more content your way here as soon as possible. So yeah, here we go. Some of you guys might be thinking, okay, so I have a tiller, but I've never used one before, or I'm getting a tiller because I want to start gardening, but I've never used one before, and I don't really know how to set it or anything like that. Well, I mean, it's not rocket science. If you have a plot of ground that looks like that with grass and stuff, the best way to do it is to if you can, take a shovel or something like that and cut the grass off the top of the soil so that you don't have vegetation that's going to grow up out of the soil along with your vegetables or whatever you're growing. But if you don't have the ability to do that and you're like lazy or like me who wants to take the short way, you're going to be weeding a lot, which is okay. You can weed a lot. It's just going to take you longer to get the soil prepped and tilled and all that. So my tiller is a rear tine tiller. Let me flip this around and show you guys. I have a rear tine tiller. It's not an expensive one. My parents, awesome parents that they are, bought me this tiller as a gift, which I was eternally grateful for. I couldn't have done it without them, honestly. But if you are able to purchase a tiller like this, This one is way easier than a front tine tiller or a small tiller. Now, if you're using only a very small plot of ground, a small tiller might not be a bad thing. But anyway, they're pretty self-explanatory. If you know how to start a push mower, you can start this thing. There's a choke, there's a throttle, and then there's a pull cord. Make sure there's gas in it. Always check the oil to make sure that the oil's right. And yeah, I mean, there's your oil dipstick right there up front for mine. And then you're ready to start it. Make sure it starts. Now, this one has a couple of different options as far as how it works. You can see there is a transportation only portion here: forward, reverse, and neutral. That's your transmission that runs turns the wheels here. And then you have your tine rotation, which is what tills up the ground. The tine is, and you have the ability to turn that either reverse or forward, so that but the machine's always moving forward. Like, the tires will always rotate forward no matter which way you run those tines. So if you're running the tines on something that is kind of harder packed, I would run it in reverse, just because it's gonna want to hold the tiller from moving forward and jumping around across the top of the hard ground. That way you can break the ground up a little better. And I'll show you the settings that I have on my tiller. And I don't ever move the settings. Some people, they move the altitude of the tines, and then there's a little stake that kind of holds back the tiller. I'll show you where I have mine set, and I don't ever move them. The only time I ever move them is if I'm actually just running it into the ground, or into the garage, not the ground, the garage. But anyway, but then once I've got it pretty smooth, I'll switch it out of reverse mode and put it into forward mode. And that actually it cuts through the soil, but you're not digging. You're not like digging hard ground or anything like that. Right now, with it being the first till of the season, I am running it in reverse right now. And then as it gets smoother, I will run it on forward. Now, I've already run this one time in one direction. I'm gonna run it in the other direction now to break up anything that I might have missed. But before I do that, I want to show you guys. See, these are the settings here for the altitude. And here, I'll flip this up a little bit. This is going to be difficult to do with one hand. These two levers here. This is going to control your altitude. That's this guy right here. So this holds the tines from going too deeply into the ground and digging up too much dirt. But you can see here, I've got some grass and stuff on here, but that's fine. That's no big deal. But you can see here, this metal stake, that's the other handle that's low down, this one right here. This one that's the thing that holds it back, while you're tilling, so that it will get maximum aeration of the soil and that kind of thing. So pretty cool little machine. And they do have, even on front tine machines, they have these settings on them as well. Front tine machines are a little more difficult to hold back from jumping forward. That was why I still have a front tine machine, and it's a challenge, man. I'm not gonna lie. There's a reason why these were designed the way they were. They're heavier. You don't have to wrestle them quite as much, but you still have to wrestle it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's still kind of annoying sometimes. But as you're driving this sucker, this is going to be the adjustment for your transmission, and you can see down there, reverse, neutral, forward, and then you can adjust to engage the tines as well. Whenever you're starting it, always start it in neutral. That way it's not going to run around on you. Not that it would, but it's easier on the machine. And then you have your engagement lever here. That actually makes it go forward or backward or whatever. So anyway, yeah, super simple stuff, really, honestly. So we're gonna keep going here, get this thing done. So I've run it twice, once in one direction and once in the other direction. And I ran the tines in reverse to push the dirt and kind of help it to dig down a little deeper. The one thing you gotta watch out for when you're doing that and running your tines in reverse is that it's pushing the dirt forward into the wheels, kind of in the direction you're going. And if it gets hung up, you can end up trenching the ground there and end up with a big deep gully, and then you have to get your rake out or your shovel out and smooth all that back out. It's not a big deal, but it's just another thing you got to do, which isn't very fun. But that's the one thing that I would say you got to be careful of if you're going to run your tines in reverse. Now that I've run it reverse both directions, I'm going to run it so that the tines are forward and kind of break up any of the stuff that I've already dug up in here. But let me show you what it looks like now that I've done it 2 times. So there you go. You can see the cover crop is, I just tilled it in, and it died out during the winter time while it was frozen. And there's my chickens getting out, idiots. I got to put up bird netting or something. Anyway, so yeah, so you can see the cover crop is there, and it's just gonna rot and produce some fertilizer in the ground there, so that you don't, you know. And honestly, that's what it's meant to do. Put not nitrogen, well, maybe nitrogen, but put nutrients back into the soil. But yeah, so that's 2 times, once in each direction, and I'm gonna run it one more time on smooth. Alrighty, there we go. I know it doesn't look much different, but I ran it with the tines running forward to smooth things out. It does actually smooth off the top and make it a little bit more uniform. So yeah, there we go. So this plot is pretty well ready to go. I may put some fertilizer in here. I'm not sure yet. I gotta talk to Miriam, see what she thinks. She's the brains behind the outfit. Anyway, so there we are. Alrighty, well, all done here. Down in the lower one. If we get mulch, I'll have to till it in again, which I freaking hate doing that. I'm at the point now where every year I think I'm gonna have to tear down this fence and put it back up. It's starting to really piss me off to try to work around it. So annoying, and cuts my hands up on the fence because it's freaking sharp. Anyway, all right, last thing before we wrap up is going to be loadout for the day. So I have my radio, my Baofeng 5RM. This is a 10-watt radio. I'm just listening to the local repeater. That's where it's on. And then, let's see, I have this guy. This is a fun little thing. 22 Magnum, Heritage. Can't beat it. Single action, bird's head, grip, pretty sweet. It's a fun little thing. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and make sure that you share the videos around, and get yourself squared away, start prepping for garden stuff and all that. Bad times are coming, folks. I can pretty much guarantee it. Writing is on the wall. Stay prepared.